Yo, what's going on, guys? It's your boy Bliss back with another one. And happy Friday to you guys. Um, Reason I wanted to drop in this video actually today is I kind of ran into one of my old videos that I published back in September 2020. And I look at it now and it's just so cool to see. I remember very well those moments and even the ones prior. So it's really cool how, like, as I am going through this journey and I'm sharing it with you guys, it's all being documented and it's something that I can go back to. And I think that was like the overall intention for me to even start the channel, for me to be able to show the squalls and the difficulties that come with this bumpy road, but that our end game is going to be that baby there on the screen at some point down the line. I don't know when. I know that the universe has all those answers for me, and it's just a matter of putting in the hard work and getting into it. But one thing that I did want to point out, actually, I finally hit the 10 subscribers, so that's pretty cool. I appreciate everyone that actually has been following me. I hope that some of these videos, I don't expect them to be good. They're not, they're meant to be natural. I feel like they're meant to be natural. They're meant to be organic because I have nothing to offer but transparency, and that's it. I think that that is not done enough, and there's too many forces around us all the time that are always trying to draw us into other things. And I think that I said from the beginning that all I really wanted was just clarity, which is clarity in this journey, and be able to look back into these videos and kind of even laugh at myself, like, wow, like I can't even believe I actually published that, or like it sounds super silly, but it's okay. It's actually cool. And again, I think the whole intention is kind of like the audience. Yeah, there is the audience. I get that, but there's also myself, and there's also the part of my own self development, of my own self growth, that is extremely crucial, and it's just reflected on the eyes of the chart itself. And to top it off, I actually gonna do a quick breakdown into the trade that I took early last night. It has been a bit of a stressful February. However, I thank God have not closed a month in a loss since October 2020. So I have been back to back to back to back to back in profit. And obviously, my habits that I have developed are not the same ones that I had back in September. They're not the same ones that I had back in August. They're not the same one when I published my very first video. And I do have something to come in December, something that I have to work on even more. I do have a next project that I will be accomplishing within July through December. It's going to be a very crucial time for me, and I think that there will be a lot more action. There will be a lot more dedication. There will just be a lot more time. I think the aspect of dedication, the aspect of persistency, the aspect of belief, all of those things at this point, they have already been conquered. I'm already 2 years into this. I'm not quitting. This is the only way I'm going to be able to get to where I want to get. Why? Because this is the path that I believe in. This is the path that I love. I actually love doing what I'm doing, and this is what I want to do. Right? There's nothing really more in the world right now. If you ask me if there's something I want to do, is make this work. It's make myself thrive in the market as a trader. So definitely still have a lot of self-development to do, still have many roads to still walk. There's still pitfalls, I'm sure, that will come along the way. And hopefully with the experience that I have gained from basically the 2 years coming up right now in March, it's already reflecting in it's possible. It is possible. The thing is just that throughout all of this time, no matter how silly I might look even to myself, or no matter how amateur, or no matter how beginner this is what it's all about. It's about being the beginner. It's about being the rookie. It's about being all of that and continuing to move forward in this path, or in your own path, whatever your path might be, whether it is trading, whether it is being the best athlete, whether it is being the best writer, being the best songwriter, being the best artist, being the best beat producer, being the best ballerina, for all Christ's sake, you know? And yeah, this is all off script. This is just me coming to you with full transparency once again. And I'm very excited. I'm very, very excited for what is to come in December this year. So without further ado, let me just do a quick breakdown on EJ and how I pretty much spotted this setup and kind of like what I looked for. So let me just adjust this just a tad bit. Bear with me, guys. And I know that at least the quality of the sound sounds a lot better. A lot of things also came into play for this. But here was a quick melt that happened actually on Euro JPY. We had an extremely strong week. However, we did have this huge bearish exhaustion from the 25th. So Thursday's candle in that case. And you see how, I think it was on my previous video, I said how the wick, oftentimes you want to see more than 1/4 of it being left behind for it to really be significant. And keep in mind, this is on the daily time frame. So there is a lot of strength behind these candles because it's a whole day full of movement solidified within the market. So this is really more of a shooting star if you do not count the the color of the candle or whatever it might be. But this is really what it is. It looks like a shooting star because it has a huge tail, it has a huge wick behind it, and typically it points to the downside, even though this is a bullish candle and I'm fully aware of it. Don't ask me why I use black candles. I will address all of that at some point, but I just won't be answering any of those questions right now because it's not within the time frame of my journey to begin to explain those things. I have to wait for that. So having that being said, the next day we had a huge pushback, and coming down to it, market pretty much topped out at 130 even almost, which is a strong level overall. And as soon as we knew, we had this H4 candle which wiped out basically 8 hours, 1, 2, so each of these candles is 4 hours, so 8 hours of momentum. Did had a pretty nasty spike to it, and this would be a trade in which a lot of people would be scared to take because of the wicks that are being formed. Trust me, I think looking back, if I didn't know what I know now, because I allowed myself to fail so many times during these circumstances and thinking otherwise, really my reasoning behind this was actually coming from the H1 chart, and that was pretty much because of this point right here. As market was coming from the bullish side, it was going up, and let me just put it side by side so you guys can kind of get a good idea of what I'm trying to say. And then we can just put this drawing actually hand in hand, and we'll be able to see it on both sides. So notice how I'm going up, right, on both sides. So market basically strung itself all the way up, tapped itself out at the 130. If you pay attention to, I did the screens, but on the right corner, you'll be able to see the price point. So tapped itself out. Once it came back down, and if you notice what's going on the H4 time frame versus the 30-minute, there's this bounce right here. And this level, in a nutshell, would have been a higher low, right? Because this low is higher than this low or this low, assuming that all of this right here does not exist. So if we were continue to actually go up, what we would want to see is a bounce here and then basically a push back to the upside. That didn't happen, unfortunately, right? And if you were just judging off of the higher time frame, you would have caught this. Why? Because you need to understand lower time frame if you are to really understand the market like how you plan to understand it. You can't just understand one time frame like you're crazy. You must understand every single time frame. You need to know every single nick and cranny of this, and you need to basically put in the work yourself to be able to dissect these things, because it takes time, it takes repetition, and it takes failure. So you got to embrace all of those things in order to see the light of day and then have a result like this where you can get a 9 pip stop with like a 33 to almost 40 pip trade, and you can score this in about of 2 hours, right? And trust me, depending on the lot size that you're using, this could be a lot of money, and you could literally slaughter this whole zone, which looks like complete bogus on the H4, but it's a complete money pit on the 30-minute time frame. Again, I'm not telling you how to do anything. This is no way, shape, or form any kind of advice for you to take, but I'm just sharing my experience with you guys as far as what I have already gone through. But what I can tell you is where this arrow is, market came through and it broke below it, and that break below it is pretty much what kills the whole deal for this continued to go up. So the last point we really wanted to see mark form lows is pretty much in between these two sections right here. Let me zoom out over here, or zoom in over here, because this is where all the beauty is. So really, we wanted to see the price point to pretty much bounce over here. It came down and made another top over here. Yeah, you could say there was a transition, but it's on the 30-minute time frame. This is not a time frame you ever really want to look at structure so much. You want to judge it off of higher time frames. Again, depending on how you look at the market, but that's just how I tend to go about it. And then, yeah, we're able to pretty much score a pretty solid entry right here. Boom. Right, market came back down. It formed this little lower low, gave me enough confirmation that this was actually still going to continue. Came back up for a retest. Boom, back to the downside. Was into instantaneous profit. It was really sweet. And yeah, that was pretty much it, guys. It's pretty much the breakdown for the yen. Let's see how the week plays out. We're still pretty bullish overall. This trend line has been here for quite a minute, just for a sense of direction. So we are still looking to pretty much go up. Now, we might probably rebound at some point and then go back to the upside. We'll just have to take it as it comes. And yeah, I think that's pretty much it. I think that I have really not a whole lot more to add. I think I'll leave it about right here. Now, as far as like what I have to do for the weekends, there's so much work to do. There's so much internal work that I have to make sure that I'm continuing to do just to make sure that my craft is good. In order to really get to the level that I want, I think that the level of critiquing and the level of paying attention to what is it that I need to do and what is it that I'm still not doing is still crucially important overall. And, you know, if you guys are in the same shoes, or if you guys are going through the struggles, or you guys are starting your own journey with this, just always remember that you are your best teacher. You are your best friend throughout this. You must give yourself the tap on the back and the applaud yourself, because it's a one-man army, so no one is going to tell you to do otherwise. And if anyone tells you different, don't listen to them, because you hold all the answers to your own questions. You just have to pretty much open the book, journal it, and, you know, I can promise you that you will see some kind of results. You know, I'm proud with this, because this is not how I started. It took a long time to get to this point and be able to really use it and be able to say, wow, like, okay, this is pretty cool. And it's actually, my gears are starting to run. So yeah, guys, it's your boy Bliss. I will catch you on the next one. Peace.